The power nobody teaches you. Why do certain individuals command respect without demanding it? Why do some people navigate conflict unscathed, while others crumble under pressure? The answer lies in a truth society desperately wants you to ignore. Power isn't inherited. It isn't granted. It's claimed by those who understand the invisible rules governing human behavior. Machiavelli knew something most spend their entire lives denying. The world doesn't reward fairness. It rewards those who understand the mechanics of influence, the architecture of control, the psychology of dominance. You've been taught to be good, to be kind, to be accommodating. But look where that's gotten you. Overlooked, undervalued, taken for granted. The first forbidden law is this: your emotions are the gateway to your destruction. Every outburst, every defensive explanation, every wounded reaction is a confession. It tells them exactly where you're vulnerable, exactly which buttons to press, exactly how to dismantle you. The person who masters their emotional responses becomes a fortress. No matter how hard others probe, they find nothing to exploit. They find only calm, only control, only a mirror reflecting their own desperation back at them. Most people broadcast their internal state like a radio signal anyone can tune into. Their face reveals anger before their mouth does. Their body language screams insecurity before they speak a word. Their voice trembles with a need for acceptance. This transparency is suicide in a world that studies you for weaknesses. When you learn to mask your reactions, to offer nothing but stillness where chaos is expected, you become illegible. And illegibility is armor. The trap of transparency, hear us. The second law they allow never tell you. Every secret you share becomes ammunition. You think confession brings connection. You believe vulnerability creates intimacy. Sometimes it does, with the rare few who've earned that privilege. But most people, they're cataloging your admissions for future use. That story you told about your childhood? Now they know your wounds. That confession about your fears? Now they know your limits. That moment of weakness you shared. Now they know exactly how to break you when it serves them. The wise guard their history like treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Not because they're ashamed, but because they understand value. Information flows in one direction, from the naive to the calculating, and once you've given it away, you can never take it back. They will remember your vulnerabilities long after you've forgotten sharing them. And when the moment comes, when the relationship sours, or the stakes rise, they will use every word you ever confided against you. This doesn't mean you become a vault with everyone. It means you become discerning. You learn to recognize who is proven worthy of your truth versus who is simply mining for material. Most people haven't earned your story. They haven't demonstrated loyalty, discretion, or reciprocal vulnerability. They just want the entertainment of your confession, or the power of knowing something you wish you kept hidden. The third law follows naturally. Questions are interrogations disguised as conversation. Watch how people probe. They don't ask because they care. They ask because they're mapping your psychology. Where are you from? What do you do? Why did that relationship end? What keeps you up at night? Each question is a fishing line cast into your depths, testing what they can pull to the surface. And most people answer reflexively, trained since childhood to be polite, to share, to explain themselves to anyone who asks. But you don't owe anyone your autobiography. You don't owe them explanations for your choices. You don't owe them the satisfaction of understanding you. The person who answers every question is the person everyone understands, and therefore everyone can manipulate. The person who deflects, who redirects, who offers pleasant vagueness, that person remains mysterious. And mystery commands attention. Learning to withhold the fourth forbidden law is perhaps the cruelest. Generosity without discernment is just weakness with good marketing. You give and give and give, telling yourself you're being noble. But look closely at who's receiving. Are they grateful or entitled? Do they reciprocate or just consume? You're not being kind. You're being used, and the moment you stop giving, they won't mourn the loss of you. They'll mourn the loss of your utility. Real generosity is strategic. It goes to those who appreciate it, who respect it, who return it in kind. Everyone else gets boundaries. They get measured responses. They get exactly what they've earned, and not a molecule more. This isn't cruelty. This is self-preservation in a world that will drain you dry and walk away without a second glance. Think about the relationships you maintain out of obligation rather than desire. The people you help because you fear being called selfish. The energy you expend on those who'd never do the same for you. You're teaching them that your resources are infinite and your standards are negotiable. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're training them to ignore your boundaries. You're signing a contract written in your own exhaustion. The fifth law cuts deeper. Forgiveness without consequence is just permission to repeat the offense. You. They apologize. You forgive. They do it again and again and again. Because you've taught them that words are enough. That I'm sorry is a reset button that costs them nothing. Your forgiveness has become cheap because you give it away without requiring change. True forgiveness isn't weakness, but it must come with conditions. They must demonstrate growth, not just express regret. They must show through consistent action that they understand what they did and why it was wrong. Your forgiveness is just enabling. It is giving them a free pass to continue the exact behavior that damaged you in the first place. And they will take that pass every single time. The mathematics of respect, the sixth forbidden law, is mathematical. Respect is inversely proportional to availability. The more accessible you are, the less they value you. The faster you respond, the less they appreciate your attention. The more willing you are to accommodate, the more they expect it as default. This is human nature, not personal failing. We treasure what requires effort. We dismiss what comes easily, so become scarce, not through games or manipulation, but through genuine self-prioritization. Have a life so full that others must wait for your time. Have standards so clear that people understand access to you is a privilege, not a right. When you finally do show up, your presence means something. Your words carry weight. Your attention becomes valuable because it's no longer guaranteed. Most people are everywhere for everyone at all times. They're exhausted, spread thin, taken for granted. They wonder why nobody respects them while they're busy proving they'll always be available no matter how poorly they're retreated. Break that pattern. Let people wonder where you are. Let them experience your absence. Let them remember what they lose when they take you for granted. The seventh law addresses power directly. The person who cares less controls everything. In every relationship, negotiation, or conflict. Whoever needs the outcome less has all the leverage. They can walk away. They can say no. They can watch the other person squirm without flinching. This is why neediness destroys you. The moment they sense you need them more than they need you, the balance tips. Your needs become their weapon. Cultivate alternatives. In work, in relationships, in every arena of life. Never allow yourself to be dependent on a single source. When you have options, you have power. When you have power, you can negotiate from strength rather than desperation. You can set terms rather than accept them. You can refuse bad deals because you don't need any deal badly enough to compromise yourself. Mastering the long game, the eighth forbidden law, requires patience. Never interrupt an enemy while they're remaking a mistake. This applies to competitors, to manipulators, to anyone positioning themselves against you. When they're talking too much, revealing too much, digging their own grave with every word, shut up and let them. Your impulse will be to correct them, to defend yourself, to set the record straight. Resist. Their errors are your advantage. Their overconfidence is your opportunity. The fool reveals his hand while declaring victory. The wise watch, learn, and prepare. When the moment comes, strike with precision, not from emotion, but from strategy. Not because you're angry, but because you're effective. This is the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is immediate and often regrettable. Responding is calculated and always effective. The ninth law is about perception. Your reputation is built in your absence, not your presence. What people say about you when you're not in the room matters more than anything you say about yourself when you are. This means your character must be unimpeachable. Your word must be your bond. Your actions must match your claims. Because you can't control the narrative others create about you, but you can make that narrative so consistent with reality that lies about you sound absurd. Build slowly. Act consistently. Let your reputation be built on observable patterns, not proclaimed virtues. The person who constantly talks about their integrity usually has none. The person who lives with integrity rarely needs to mention it. Others mention it for them. The 10th law concerns judgment. The company you keep defines you more than your achievements. You can accomplish remarkable things, but if you surround yourself with mediocrity, weakness, or toxicity, that's what people will associate with you. Your associations are your brand. Choose them carefully. Spend time with people who elevate you, challenge you, respect you. Distance yourself from those who drain, diminish, or disrespect you. This isn't snobbery. It's strategy. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 are complainers, victims, or manipulators, you'll find yourself adopting their patterns. If those 5 are disciplined, ambitious, and principled, you'll rise to match them. Environment shapes behavior. Choose your environment with the same care you'd choose a business partner. The architecture of control, the 11th forbidden law, is tactical. In conflict, he who speaks first usually loses. Silence gives you information. It forces the other party to fill the void, to reveal their position, to show their desperation. When you speak first, you give away your reasoning, your limits, your willingness to negotiate. Hold your silence. Let the tension build. Let them wonder what you're thinking. When you finally speak, speak once. State your position clearly, calmly, and completely. Then return to silence. Don't argue. Don't defend. Don't elaborate. You've said what needed saying. Now it's their turn to respond to your terms, not the other way around. This reversal of pressure is how negotiations are won, not through eloquence, but through discipline. The 12th law addresses confrontation. Attack positions, never people. When someone challenges you, they're hoping to provoke an emotional response. They want you angry, defensive, rattled. Instead, dissect their argument. Point out logical flaws. Ask clarifying questions that expose inconsistencies. Remain clinical while they become emotional. This makes you appear reasonable and them appear irrational. You win without fighting because you refuse to enter the arena they've chosen. Personal attacks reveal weakness. They show you have no substantive response, so you resort to character assassination. When someone goes personal, you've already won. Let them. They're ad hominem. Attacks only strengthen your position. Respond with facts, with questions, with calm inquiry. Make them look foolish for losing control while you maintained yours. The final law, as the 13th forbidden law, is uncomfortable. Most people don't want solutions. They want validation for staying exactly as they are. When someone brings you their problems repeatedly, they're not seeking help. They're seeking permission to remain stuck. Your job isn't to fix them. It's to recognize this pattern and refuse to participate. Offer help. Once, if they don't take it, they don't want it. Move on. The chronic complainer is an energy vampire. They feed on your attention, your sympathy, your advice that they'll never implement. Set a boundary. I've given you my thoughts. Let me know when you're ready to act on them. Then change the subject. If they can't respect that boundary, minimize contact. Your energy is finite. Spend it on people committed to growth, not theatrical suffering. The 14th law requires ruthlessness. Cut losses quickly, whether it's a failing project, a toxic relationship, or a bad investment. The moment you know it's not working, exit. Most people wait, hoping things will improve. They throw good money after bad, good time after wasted time, good energy after toxic energy. This is the sunk cost fallacy, and it will destroy you. The past is gone. All that matters is future utility. If something isn't working now and won't work in the future, end it today. The pain of cutting losses is immediate, but finite. The pain of clinging to dead weight is chronic and compounding. Choose the sharp pain of decisive action over the dull ache of prolonged suffering. Your future self will thank you. The 15th law is about standards. What you tolerate, you encourage. Every boundary violation you overlook is permission for the next one. Every disrespect you excuse is an invitation for more. People treat you exactly as well as you require them to. If you accept mistreatment, you'll receive mistreatment. If you demand respect, you'll get respect, or you'll get absence. Both are acceptable outcomes. Set clear standards for how people may treat you. Enforce them without exception. The first violation gets one warning. The second gets distance. The third gets removal from your life. This isn't harsh. It's necessary. You're teaching people how to treat you through what you accept and what you reject. Becoming untouchable, the 16th forbidden law, is liberating. You don't need closure. You need distance. They won't apologize. They won't admit fault. They won't give you the satisfaction of understanding why they did what they did. Stop waiting for it. Stop needing it. Closure is a myth peddled by people who profit from your paralysis. You get closure by moving forward without them, not by getting answers from them. Let go of needing the last word, the final confrontation, the explained ending. Just leave. Block. Delete. Forget. Your peace doesn't require their participation. Your healing doesn't need their blessing. The relationship ended. That's all the closure you need. The 17th law is the hardest. You cannot save people from themselves. You can offer wisdom, resources, support, but if they're determined to make self-destructive choices, you cannot stop them. And you'll destroy yourself trying. Know when to withdraw your help. Know when to let natural consequences teach the lessons your words cannot. This isn't abandonment. It asks acknowledging that some battles are you and yours to fight, and some lessons must be learned through pain. The person who refuses help doesn't need more help. They need consequences. Step back. Protect yourself. Let life be the teacher you cannot be. And when they finally hit bottom and genuinely seek help, then decide if you want to offer it. But never light yourself on fire to keep someone warm who refuses to build their own fire. The ultimate truth, the 18th and final law, is the foundation of everything. Your freedom begins where your need for approval ends. As long as you require others to validate your worth, you will never be free. As long as you need them to like you, understand you, accept you, you remain their prisoner. True power comes from internal validation, from knowing your worth, regardless of external opinion, from building a life so aligned with your values that others' approval becomes irrelevant. This doesn't mean becoming cold or isolated. It means becoming selective. It means building connections based on mutual respect rather than desperate need. It means walking away from anyone who requires you to diminish yourself to maintain their comfort. The moment you stop needing approval, you become dangerous. Not because you harm others, but because you can no longer be harmed. You can no longer be manipulated through acceptance or rejected through exclusion. You become untouchable not through cruelty, but through self-sufficiency. Not through isolation, but through discernment. Not through hardness, but through unshakable self-knowledge. This is what Machiavelli understood. Power isn't about controlling others. It's about being unconquerable yourself. It's about building an internal kingdom so strong that external chaos cannot penetrate it. So learn these 18 laws. Master your emotions. Guard your secrets. Withhold strategically. Give selectively. Forgive conditionally. Become scarce. Care less. Watch silently. Build reputation. Choose company. Speak less. Attack ideas. Refuse victimhood. Cut losses. Enforce standards. Release closure. Accept. Limits. Need nothing. When you embody these principles, you don't just survive, you dominate. Not through force, but through presence. Not through manipulation, but through mastery. You become the person others study, respect, and yes, fear. Not because you're cruel, but because you're free. And freedom is the most dangerous thing a person can possess in a world built on control. They will call you cold. They will say you've changed. They will accuse you of heartlessness. Let them. Their discomfort is proof of your transformation. Their accusations are evidence you're no longer playing by their rules. You've become something they cannot manage, cannot predict, cannot own. You've become untouchable. And that, above all else, is what Machiavelli would call true power. Now go forth and never forget these laws. Your sovereignty depends on them. And remember, understanding these principles is just the beginning. Application is everything. Start today. Start now. Become who you were meant to be before the world told you to be someone else.